Okay, now that we've already talked about the birthing canal.
You guys should be on time to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. You guys all missed out who weren't on here. So, you guys, I love Coco. Okay, I love Coco. You guys, little Wendy Campbell there for you, Coco. So, when I think of Coco, okay, I'm totally going to just be crushing out on Coco because if you didn't watch her NMD speech, you should have, because I want to say 1 year ago today, I saw on Facebook that she did her NMD speech. And I remember like sitting there just like, who's this girl coming out in this red cape with her family wearing fake mustaches to like a total hip hop song dancing? I just loved it. She totally set the stage for something completely different than I'd ever seen with NMD speeches. And I was just enthralled. She had me with like emotion and she was making me laugh so hard I wanted to pee my pants. And I was like, I have to meet this girl. Like, I just have to. So, as luck would have it, I got to be in her Q School group, and I might have done a little bit of a happy dance when I saw Coco Owchar in my group, and I found out that she was even better than I saw her on stage. So I always kind of sometimes like to find a quote, and this is Coco. Steve Maraboli, could be killing his last name, but he says, "There is nothing more rare nor more beautiful than a woman being unapologetically herself, comfortable in her perfect imperfection. To me, that is the true essence of beauty." And that is Coco Owchar. This woman is beautiful inside out, and I can't wait for you guys to hear from her.
That's so nice. Oh my gosh, kids, did you hear that? Yeah. Just kidding. I heard it.
You have the best mom ever.
By somebody. Okay. Go back to your homework. Okay, so let's see. That is really nice. I loved meeting your guys' NMD too. She was so super sweet, and I could tell like that super bright smile, but there's some horns under there, not so secret side. I'm just saying. I won't tell you everything, but get to Q School. It's super fun. You get to know a lot of stuff about a lot of people. Did you know at Q School they like locked the bar for us? Did you remember that, Christy? Not that you were drinking, because I've never seen somebody have so many snacks in her backpack. I was like, no wonder, she has a great metabolism. She has a lot of snacks, healthy snacks. Okay, enough about our love story. Did you see snacks? Did you want me, am I able to share my screen with you guys?
You should be able to.
Okay, let's see.
If you can't, let me know.
Let me try it. Okay, share screen. Okay, there you go. How do I move this over? Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, that is my family. So my story kind of begins with these guys. So that's my dad, Chucky baby, and that's my mom, Sally, and my sister, Alicia, and that's me. Look at my sister's hips go up to my shoulders. She's very tall, and she's also 6 years older than me. So I was about, 7 years old there, and my sister was, I think, 13. And my mom and dad are young, and they're kind of hippies. And, the reason I start with this is because they did the best that they knew how to do in the 70s. And genetics does play a part in who you become, or your body and your disease and all of that kind of stuff. And my dad, he was like such a loving father. I mean, we were totally happy, but about a year later, my parents got divorced. And my dad was super happy, but my mom wasn't, because my dad was an alcoholic. He drank a lot, and that wears on you, right? But he loved us. He just didn't love himself enough. And my dad passed away in 2010 from cirrhosis of the liver due to alcoholism, and he was only 68 years old. And my parents did get back together later in life, in my 20s, which is kind of hard to figure out. But anyways, that's another Oprah. Now this is my mom, Sally, and she is 73 years old now, and she has dementia. It's progressive dementia. And I and my husband, she doesn't live with us. She's okay to live on her own, but I take care of her. My husband he goes and he brings her medication every morning and makes her a shake on the way to work. He does that for me. And then I go and visit her during the day and do her grocery shopping, and my sister pays her bills. Like, we take care of her. And that's important to know because she didn't take care of herself. This is me and my little boy, Aiden, who's now 12 years old. And I actually gained more weight after I had him than I did when I was pregnant with him. And the reason for that is a lot of suffering and death had happened in our family. My husband's, I'm sure if you saw the speech, that my husband's father passed away the weekend before we got married from cancer. You know, we never got to have a honeymoon or anything. And a couple months later, his sister told us that she had breast cancer. And it was hard. But then I got pregnant again, and she was in remission. And hamburger helper. Do you know why that's up there? I'm going to tell you why, because that's what I grew up on. And that's why I was so effed up when it came to what you eat. And my parents were divorced. That's called a topic hop, P.S. But you guys are smart enough to follow along. Don't act like you can't catch on. So my mother would be like, here's the meat, here's the hamburger helper, have at it. Anyways, this is me at 32. I'm going to be 45 in a couple of months, not even 2 months. My birthday is June 21st, summer solstice, first day of summer. Don't forget it. I accept all cards and gifts. I'm a Gemini, so there you go. So this is me then. And this is me now. I teach a fitness class through the city that I live in. I teach 10 classes a week. And those are all my Coco's Crew people. Some of them are on my team. Most of them are on Juice Plus if they're not. But this journey started back with this picture here, you know, at 32. Look at Nick, like, squeezing me. He's a chubby chaser. Started back then because I was like, I got to work out. I got to do something because that's me working out. Sorry, my husband made this, and he's like, he'd want to wear this on a t-shirt. Like, he would want to put that on a t-shirt and wear it around town, and it's a little bit too much. I'm trying to find another picture. Just bear with me. I know this is a mess, but I'm a mess, just like that quote she said. But what is your why? Okay, what is your why? It all boils down to your why. And so I was overweight. I made a change. My first change was working out. I hated working out because I didn't even like to sweat. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And even in high school, I was never on a sports team. I was chosen last, even by my best friends, and I was like, I get it, you want to win, but I'm still your friend. Why are you such a jerk? But no, picked last, whatever. So I didn't want to work out. I hated exercise. I didn't even understand how it worked. So when my sister-in-law, she passed away from breast cancer. When I was pregnant with Aiden, that first picture, when he, that was back in 2003. In March 2003, she got put on hospice care. She found out that her cancer came back. This is Joni, my awesome sister-in-law, and that's my husband, and that's in our kitchen a while ago. Well, when she was in remission. And she is one of our whys, because if we knew what we know now, oh my gosh, there's so many things that we found out. Well, when I was in my, pregnant, and I went into the room in hospice, she wanted to talk to me, and like, she put her hands on my, my pregnant belly, and she was like, I can't believe I'm not going to meet him. And that still like makes me really tear up, because it's true. It's like, she never got to meet my son, and she knew, she got to meet my older son, but she never got to meet Aiden. So she's one of my whys. The reason is She was in remission for 4 years. She did the radiation, she did the chemo, which is like, of course we're going to do that because that's what the doctor says to do. She didn't have a great diet. When she was in remission, she's like, oh, now's my chance. I'm going to get healthy and lose weight. Well, the thing that was popular then was the Atkins diet, which is all meat. And so she went on the Atkins diet in December of 2002. Or no, she went in 2002, she went on the Atkins diet. In December, her cancer came back within like 3, and she was dead in 3 months. She was dead in March. So what my husband and I know now is that plants are where it's at. It's plant power. And animal protein creates more cancer, just like sugar does. But we did not know that then. We were talking to the doctors, top of the line, all of the chemo, throw it at her. Who knew? But if we would have known now, we would have been like, no, wait, stop. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this. But we didn't know. And so the reason I know this now is because of Juice Plus. That's the reason. And so I'm going to go back up here to another picture of my workout classes. I teach at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and that we teach outside. It's me, but I'm a Gemini, so I have 2 personalities, okay? It's the twins in me. Anyways, I'm never alone. Teach at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I teach on Saturdays at 7 a.m. And I know, and you guys know, because of Juice Plus probably, if you didn't get it in school or in college or wherever people pay a lot of money to go find things out at, you probably found out through this Juice Plus company. So that's one of your whys right there. You pay $50 for this business and this education. Think about the education you got since you started this journey. So I was like, really, plants are that powerful? Come on. I mean, it's not marijuana. Anyhow, so I wanted to look into it. And so I did. So there's back to Joni. And my husband and I just recently finished the Cornell University plant-based nutrition program. And it's by T. Colin Campbell, who wrote the China study. And we found out so much more, but we wouldn't have even cared before Juice Plus. Juice Plus is the catalyst to your healthier lifestyle. Juice Plus is the catalyst. I wouldn't have known Christy without Juice Plus. Okay, I wouldn't have been able to get my husband to leave the LA Times. He worked for the book review. He was an editor, and he had to take a pay cut to leave. But now he's 20 minutes away from home. I can be like, come home for lunch. Things like that. Kind of important for a marriage, you guys. Anyway, that's my little boy who was in the first picture. That's Aiden. And that is Murray, who is a therapy dog. And right before Q school, I think, my son was limping a lot and said his hips hurt. And now we'd been on Juice Plus for 7 years already. I was an NMD. And I just thought, you're having growing pains. Because I'm like that mom. I was like, okay, let me rub some oils on it because you're not taking any Motrin because we don't take Motrin. Anyways, I'm like, better than that. And he's like, Mom, my hips really hurt. I was like, God, you're such a baby. They're just growing pains. Well, a couple of weeks later, then we went to Meet Your Raise boot camp in Seattle. I was like, this is our vacation, kids. Anyways, we did that. And there he had to, by the time that was done, he had to use crutches. And I was like, what the heck is wrong, Fast forward, I take him to our doctor, which is an integrative doctor. She practices integrative medicine. So she took his blood and then she took x-rays. Nothing was in the x-rays. So the blood, the T cell count was a little elevated and his inflammation markers were high. So we had to take him to the emergency room. We took him to the Huntington Memorial in Pasadena here. And they did an MRI and they found in his hips this shadowing. It's like a milky white, which it should be black when you do that. And he had something called osteomyelitis, and you guys can look that up, but it is something that gets into your bones. It can get in through a cut. It can get in through some kind of virus. And he was in the hospital for 7 days. But the great thing about this was, you see all the little ice packs on his arms and things? It's because they kept poking him every day. They would take so much blood. They would spin his blood. They tagged his white cells, re-injected them back in. They were looking for hot spots, because the normal protocol is 7 days in the hospital of intravenous drugs, then put a stent in the kid so that he can come home and have a nurse come in, and it has to be for about a month. He would have to wear a backpack with more drugs because it's so serious and it can leave scar tissue wherever the bones are. Well, my son is only 12, so his growth plates weren't closed yet, and so it's very serious because he has a lot of growing to do still. And but the part was, they had 6 different doctors on his case, because every day that they took his blood, the inflammatory markers were going down. And he was telling the nurse, like, they're all, what do you do? And we had to tell our story to every single, the infectious disease person, the bone specialist, the rock star surgeon, the this, the that. And they poke him and prod him. And he's like, I take Juice Plus. And I was making him take like triple the amount as soon as it happened in the hospital, probiotics, because they were giving him vancomycin. They had to, it's protocol. But he never had a fever, all these things. They kept saying, does this hurt? He's like, only because you're poking me so much, you know? So, and the great thing, the pediatric disease specialist was in there, and Aiden's like, that Sunday, because I live in California, and Deanna Christofferson is my upline NMD, and she's the one that signed up Dr. Sears on Juice Plus. He's not my upline, but he's a sideline buddy. So I had worked out something with a sideline buddy, and he was supposed to come speak at my house, and there was 100 people coming, and it was the Sunday my son was in the hospital. And my son's like, Mom, what about Dr. Sears? He's coming over. And the pediatrician's like, Dr. Bill Sears is coming to your house. I was like, yeah, we're kind of like friends. It's no big deal. Anyways, and she's like, I go, you want to come? She couldn't. Her dumb kid had a soccer game. But anyways, couple of the nurses got on Juice Plus. They finally let him go. It's like they were kind of keeping him to study, and he didn't have to get the stent. He didn't have to do the backpack because of Juice Plus. And I know it's because he had it for 7 years in his body. So that's another why I go out there, because I have lived it. You don't know when you're going to need your Juice Plus. You have these moms saying, my kid won't take the gummies. My kid used to hide his gummies by his bed, and I'd find him when I'd move his furniture, and they'd be all dusty. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get you. So you have to make them, because guess what? You're the parent, and you just have some real talk with your people. And you could be like, you don't know what you're preventing. You don't know when you're going to need it. And I didn't know that Aiden was going to need this. And it was there for him. Juice Plus was there, and his body had the foundation to fight, because this can be something very, very serious, especially in a growing boy. And that's why we have a Labradoodle, because when we're in the hospital, I told Aiden, you could ask Dad for anything you want, and he'd say yes. And he's like, Dad, can I get a Labradoodle? He's like, yes. And I was like, can I get a new couch? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay. Next, what's my other one? Look at this guy. This is Aiden. And I know I'm focusing a lot on him. I do have another child. Luckily, he can't hear me say all this stuff about his brother. But this guy was my one that ate beige. He ate mac and cheese, chicken nuggets. He ate nothing with color unless it was a fruit snack that also colored his poop blue. So that's what he ate. And now this is him with our tower gardens. And look at him. He's like all like an artist. Like he's like clip, clip. He craves fruits and vegetables. He likes being healthy. He brags about it. He came home from the hospital because I have to force him still. He's a kid. I have to be like, did you take your Juice Plus? Did you take your Juice Plus? That's our job. Okay. So I had to do that. But when he got out of the hospital, he's like, thank you, Mom, for making me healthy. And that, you know how that made me feel? Like their life is in our hands. It's our job. And so he eats that. We try not to have, we're like 80-20. We hardly have any animal protein in our house. And my son they have to make their own lunches. He'll take a baggie and he'll take whatever last night's quinoa and mushroom, put it in a baggie, pack a fork. Friends are like, what is that? And he's like, it's quinoa, dude. Okay, get it. And he doesn't even care. He's like, You got to teach people that you don't have to pack the conventional sandwich and all that stuff. Look at how Christy snacks. She's a grazer, obviously. And look at her rockin' body. It's because her metabolism kicks ass because she's constantly fueling it and she's trained it to burn and fuel and work. And that's what we have to teach our kids. You don't have to have a sandwich and chips and a treat. You know, you can have, what do you want to eat? Pack a bunch of different things, and that's what you're going to eat at school. And when you come home, you're going to make yourself a snack. Okay? So it's time to get real. Oh, there we are. Look at us. How cute. Dancing on stage. I'm closing my eyes because I can't believe it. And who gives a picture like that? That was a decades party. Seriously, in a fro. Anyways, and my husband was supposed to be a Guido. He has enough chest hair anyways. So the reason my kids were wearing mustaches because my husband grew a mustache and I hated it. And I told him that if I got to NMD, that my team was going to be able to shave it off him at the luncheon. And he was like, okay. And I did. And so my team got my kids fake mustaches and my whole team wore mustache shirts. And then at the lunch, they shaved his mustache off and they all took off their fake mustaches and put them all over his face. It was hilarious. So that was such a great day. And there's my son, Alex, and he's 16 now. And when we got back to our hotel room, it was a really great moment for me to have him take me aside. And we were by ourselves and he was like, Mom, I didn't realize what a big deal this was until we were standing up there. And he was like, Mom, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, seriously? His size. Okay. That's a big deal to be like kind of a big deal in your kids' eyes. I'm just saying, not when they're just toddlers. Okay. You're a big deal, but then they turn into teenagers and they're like, I don't want to put the finger up but it's this one. They don't want to be around you. And then this is us. This was our Christmas card. And this is my Aiden kissing me. And this was all real. It's not staged. They all like me. We're barefoot, so it makes it really real. And that's, our little story. But you guys, there's going to be days and there's going to be no's and there's going to be team members that don't do what they said they were going to do. But I really encourage you to know that they weren't lying to you. Like if you have somebody that's like, I'm going to get to Q by St. Louis or whatever, they really believe they want to do it. They got stuck and they're not ready. But don't hang your hat on that. Like my upline's husband, don't get creeped out. And I know this is recorded. So I said this at Q school, right, Christy? You got to spread your legs wide and go deep, okay? You've got to spread it. Okay, so you got to keep adding team. Do those HLPs, keep inviting people, use your Facebook page. Don't be afraid, but look on other people's Facebook pages and see how they're sharing, okay? Look at my Facebook page and see how I'm sharing. I share my life, but I also share my product. I share what we're making. I give tips. I do all kinds of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're doing that all the time. And just keep going, okay? Have some drinks. Keep going. Rewrite your memory jogger over and over again. Visit those canceled customers. Give really, really good customer care. Use the mission-driven model.info. I hope you guys use that. And just send videos and just, you're like, if you are a rep, you are saving lives. This is serious. You have to take it seriously. You're getting paid. You're not going to get rich right away, but you can get rich with the people you're helping and the team you're building. And you've got to spread the message. Make it a ministry. Instead of, you could still be a Bible thumper. I'm not going to judge you, but you could be a veggie thumper. And you're just like, bam, 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 bam. Okay? Hammer it in. Keep going. Fruits and vegetables can save the world. Amen. Peace. That's all I have. So you can ask me questions or whatever.
Guys, don't miss this opportunity to ask her questions. Is she not hilarious? I'm pretty sure I promised, and here it is. She's
a little leg up there. What's happening? There's a little leg over here. Look at that little leg. Is that an extra leg? That's a unique body. Okay, I like it.
I love it. Any questions for Coco at all? Come on, Cassie Johannes, I know you always have questions.
I know, and I had like 3 really good questions after we had Meet Your Ray the other day, and now I can't think of them, and they would be so good for Coco. I can't think.
Do you remember Coco's speech at Sacramento?
Yes, it was amazing. It was awesome. I was like, I like any chick with a cape on.
I didn't make that cape. It was all presented to me, so I was like, okay. But I wished I did say why it doesn't have a hood. I was just saying, like, just to be practical. Could have. I was like,
then you could have worn it again.
Yeah, it's in my closet, but.
Oh my God! I know I have a question. Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna focus for 1 second.
Ashley Dwyer.
I can't stop laughing long enough to even think about a question. What would you think, I guess, Coco, what was your key to success? What was the one thing that was the game changer for you, if you can narrow it down to one thing?
I think just bringing the excitement. I also kind of creating vision for people and giving energy to them. And if you guys watched my speech too, I talked about my double D's, which are not my boobs because I'm not a double D. It was my upline NMD, and my friend Diane Altamar, and she has a book. She was my life coach. So working with her, she helped me really get past some stuff that held me back. Like she tells you to kind of picture the little girl inside of you. And that's why I started this with that picture, is that little girl, that little blonde girl. I do feel, there's sometimes you go to that little girl where somebody hurts you, or you're like, God, ouch, that hurt. Why did that bother me so much? So you kind of have to figure out why things bug you and why are you letting it keep you stuck. And, she has a book on Amazon. It's like $16 or $17. You look it up. I don't get a proceeds. I'm just saying, like, you guys, you could start like a book club with each other. You have to do self-development and self-growth. Otherwise, you're not going to move. And this, I know you've heard people say that this is a self-development business, because your things that bothered me 3 years ago, I was like, I don't give up. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm like, that's about you, not me. And you really got to figure that out. And that's number one for sure. And write stuff down, like, why is this bothering me? What, it's really like, why don't they like me? You kind of get there. It doesn't matter. They don't like themselves. How can they like you? That's what I would say. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Coco, I have a question.
Okay.
Still off of, I always think back to like my journey, which was awesome, but oh, I don't know what that.
Yeah, I hear it was a struggle. Yeah.
Okay, and I always look back and I think, what could I do different? How could I make it easier for the next person? We all have to embrace our struggles. But what would you do differently?
Okay, what I would do differently, I think that is such a question, because don't we wish we could live our whole life in hindsight? Like, I wish I could have hindsight of next week already, but I can't. But this past year as an NMD, my team, I think, really loves me, or loved me. I don't know if they love me anymore. But when they knew I wanted to get to NMD and they knew it was close, we did 10,000 pay line in that March before. But then that can go away, especially if you're doing a lot of T30s or painful shakes and things like that. So it's almost like a false thing. So I think that we really need to make help the person connect to why they are doing it for themselves. Kind of like how I showed you guys my why. Your why is very important. So helping them create vision. I did do that, but it wasn't strong enough for some of them. And then encourage self-development then. But there are some people on my team that I did too much for. So you want to really think about it. If you are developing this person, I'm not trying to create like helter-skelter in your team, but there's a few of my SCs or my SSC or whomever, where you would put somebody under them or a team member that they don't really know, but you're like, oh, well, they kind of know each other, but like really you're the one doing the work. They're getting the bonus. You're like, oh, no, you take the bonus. And you're thinking, I'm going to encourage them by giving them the bonus and things like that. But really, they didn't earn the bonus, so it didn't really matter. So think about other relationships in your life. This job, air quotes, is just like life. If you do too much for someone, if you do too much for your kids, if you do too much, they're not going to do it for themselves, right? So you don't want to be a helicopter sponsor, just like you don't want to be like a helicopter parent or whatever. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. So like if you're doing the work with the person, give your say it's me and then Christy is direct me and then another person under. And if I'm helping Christy, but really I'm doing all the three-way calls, I'm meeting the people, because the other person's too busy, you need to point out to them, okay, I'm doing a lot of this work. Let's bring you in more. And if they're all, I can't. You need to let them know, okay, well, I'm going to take that bonus when it comes. And just be real, because you're not doing them any favors. That's my biggest hindsight.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Anybody else? Well, use your tools that you have for sure. Stay connected. Don't just drift off. I'm sure you guys have a team page. Visit that team page every day, because I'm sure as an NMD, as a leader, it's really hard to get everybody the information, and you can only be on so many different things. And just think about your daily life, how busy you are. Like, it's okay everybody says they're busy, but are you productive? Are you planning out your week ahead of time? Are you giving days designated times? Like, I had a lot of stuff I needed to change. So like on Fridays, I kind of sit and decide what I'm going to do the next week, and I start calling my team and, hey, da-da-da-da-da. But we also have designated days. I didn't do that. I got to NMD by the seat of my pants. I didn't have systems. Now I have systems. Like, I'm sure do you guys have a call every Monday? Is this your time to have a call?
Yeah, we're working on getting better at consistency.
See, we liked each other because birds of a feather flock together. So our team, we're going to have like 7:30 on Wednesdays is the day at night. So it's like, that's when we're going to launch new reps. So if you sign up a rep on a Friday, you're like, okay, I'm going to need you on this call. And the sponsor and the new rep get on the call. And then I teach them, what to do for the next 90 days. And then that same night we'll have a Zoom team call later. So it's like systems like that, so that you're not all over the place. Otherwise you're like, hey, can you get on the 3 call? Okay, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah. So get some systems in place. Like, Mondays, I'm going to do laundry and catch up on my customer care. And, Tuesdays, I'm going to check, you check your declines. You do your customer care like 1 day a week. Do your rep care. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just doing everything all crazy every day. So find a system. I like your little thing behind you. It says promotions.
Yes. And it has my clubs.
Nice. I like it. So that would be it.
All right. Well, unmute yourselves and show Coco some major love, because wasn't she amazing? Thank you, Coco. You rock. Thank you, sister.
Okay, I hope you guys are doing some stuff. Have a good day.
Thank you.
That's great.
Bye.
That's great. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, and everyone, I'm doing a T30 event at 4 if
Oh,
anybody wants to get on.
4 in Hawaii time, so in 20 minutes.
I'm sorry, yes.
4 a.m.
4
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
morning.
Where is your worker bee? She's at NMD 4 a.m.
We don't sleep here.
Nice.
Just kidding. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. 20 minutes.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you in 20, Cassie.
Okay, I think.
Send me the link.